Hey everyone, we appreciate you for tuning in. I hope you have a cup of coffee, a snack, and a bit of time. Welcome to Covenant. Well, here we are, the first Covenant podcast, and that instrumental music, absolutely flawless.
No, I don't know about
Absolutely flawless. As a matter of fact, every person listening right now is actually thinking, that's the best thing I ever heard.
No, stop.
So who made that, Pastor?
Well, someone that is probably the last person that needs to be doing it.
Oh.
Thank you for the kind words.
Was it you?
It was me. It was me.
Wow.
But whenever we went to set this up, I told you, I said, we may record 3-4 episodes just until we get it right.
Yeah.
And then we'll go live with it.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been through that process for several weeks now.
Oh, yeah.
Probably really conversation even more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But sitting down physically, recording, getting things lined out, it's taken a while. And so all that to be said is, thank you for the kind words. I hope that it's, it's decent. But so yeah, we're here and we're doing this thing. And at this point in time, I would consider this to be the 4th sit down, let's record moment.
Yeah.
And really, if you're listening to this today, our goal is just to give another avenue to let people hear the word.
Yeah.
And it being a casual setting, I work in an office. I love listening to podcasts and music while I work, and just to have the word go in the background in a casual way. I really enjoyed that. And you're a big podcast guy,
Oh,
right?
yes, sir. I mean, I over the past 4 years, you get those Spotify Wrapped. I'm telling you, if you could be any more than just the 0.01%, I might be the number one podcast listener in the entire world. If there's however many hours, minutes, seconds are in the 365 days of the year, I'm probably about half of those in podcasts. And I'm not joking. With that, with how much time we've been putting into this, it all is kind of just an exact example of what our topic for today is going to be. We see the avenue of ministry in front of us of the Covenant podcast. As you said, we want it to be a way that you can hear the word, that it can be conversations, that it is going to be able to bless you, enrich you. And so through all that, we are trying to be good stewards of what we see and the opportunity in front of us. And that's what our first topic is going to be, and that's stewardship. And Pastor, I know you love stewardship. You've preached it multiple times already, and you have taught it to our core team. You always say it to me. And I just want to know, why do you feel like stewardship is such an important part of our daily lives, and it is so important to being a Christian and to being a Covenant church member?
Sure. Well, I would say that stewardship is probably one of my most passionate subjects to teach, to preach, because it's so applicable to life.
Yeah.
And it simplifies a lot of what we do in life in a really kind of straightforward, streamlined manner. As it pertains to the overall theme, the key sentence that I hope that people would remember listening to this podcast today, the key sentence would be that stewardship is the key to multiplication in your life, ministry, church, career, really anything that you have been given to steward. How we steward things in life make all the difference. I guess we can give definition to what we're really meaning when we use the word stewardship. To be a steward means to take care of something that has been given to you. And I preach this out of Matthew 25, where Jesus is teaching, preaching the parable of the master who is giving his servants allotted talents or money. And I'd like to read that today, and we can kind of draw from it as we go. And I hope that you're blessed by this day. Matthew 25, beginning there at verse number 14. I may not read all of it. Like I said, we're just going to kind of casually go through this and kind of just see what we can draw from it. It says, "For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability. And straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them another 5 talents. And likewise he that had received 2, he also gained another 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. After a long time the Lord of those servants cometh, and he reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought another 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou delivered unto me 5 talents. Excuse me. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more." And this is the key verse that draws us to the crux of our concern today. "His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord." In this we find that it's not about what's given to you. It's about how you steward what's given to you. And this servant that was given 5 talents took it, invested into it and with it, and doubled what his master had given him. And as they are interacting again, the servant is able to look at his master and say, "Look at what I've done with what you've given me." And when his master saw what he had done with it, he said, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." Because the servant was faithful in a few things, the Lord, his master, made him ruler over many. And likewise, as the Lord has given us things, ministries, jobs, families, you list it, you name it, as the Lord has given it to us, 2 things. One, we must realize that it's him that's given this to us. It really isn't ours. It's really not our ministry. It really isn't by our means, or it's from God.
Yeah.
That we have all things. And we are to take those things and be faithful unto them and steward them well. And my goal is to not bury and hide away what God has given me, but to say, "Okay, Lord, I'm going to take this. I'm going to invest with it and in it. I'm going to buy into it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to steward it." And when you do, and when you are faithful to it, God will multiply it. That's our conversation today, straightforwardly. We are to be good stewards of what God has given us, because God has given it to us.
Yeah.
And I want to do well by it. And when we steward well, we see multiplication from the Master.
Yes, sir. And a good way to build off of that is if you go to Luke 16:10, when he says, "He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much, and he who is unjust in what is least is unjust also in much. And then 11 says, therefore, if you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? So to build off of what your point is there is, as you're saying, if you're faithful in what talents and you steward what talents that you have, then the Lord can bless you with more. And as it builds off right there on Luke 10, if you are given little, or what we see as little, if you are given this ministry or whatever you might just view as little, and you're unfaithful in that, then you're proving and you're saying, hey, I can't handle the much. I all I want is the much, but I can't handle this because this isn't what I want. So because this isn't what I want, or because I feel like I should have more, I'm just not going to be faithful. I'm not going to steward this. But as you see right there, if you are faithful in the least amount, then you can be faithful, and you will be faithful in much more. And it's so opposite of how we kind of want to think. We want to think, well, I envision myself doing much more things than this right now. So because I don't have this solo, I'm probably really not even going to listen to the songs. And so, if they don't let me do solo in about 2 or 3 Sundays, I'm probably just not even going to sing anymore. I might just be done. And that's just kind of how we want to think of it, because we see the vision and the dream in our eyes, and then when the opportunities are given to us and they're not seen through our eyes in the way as we thought they would be, we're like, well, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. We're proving and we're showing that we're unfaithful. We're not going to steward what the little is. And the Lord's saying, if you could just steward what the little things are, then I can trust you with much more.
Sure. Yeah, and that's exactly right. And there's really no better way to say that. The saying is kind of, go the extra mile. Of course, that's a biblical principle. And most things that, we say in the world, people don't realize that, well, no, that's a biblical principle. We get it from the Bible.
Yeah.
But when you give something your all, when you really get invested into in area, no matter if it's in your career or if it's in your church, the Lord sees that, people see that, and I'm not one in trying to just over spiritualize everything. There are certainly natural things that happen in this earth, and so you can have very ungodly men go to a new job or a new position, and they just give it their all, and they, what's the natural thing to do? Well, they're doing it well. Let's promote them.
Right.
In the same manner, that's how God sees the things that He's given us. It is just that simple. If I'm going to go to a new place of work, and I'm the floor sweeper, and I'm just sweeping that place with everything I can, with all my might, and then you have the owner come in, what's the natural tendency there? To say, man, who's that guy? Oh, man, I don't know if that's the new guy that we have sweeping the floors. Boy, he looks like a hard worker. Look at him. And then the natural inclination is promotion. Because, man, if he does that well, then what would he do with more?
Right.
In the same manner, God does this with us. He sees this in us. And it's just the natural thing that will happen. And that's what excites me about our opportunity as a church plant in Covenant.
Yeah.
Number one, it's a small room. We are right now a small church. We do not have a building. We rent a hotel, what is a small convention, room, technically. We have a trailer that all of our sound equipment is in. And we set up and tear down every single Sunday. It would be a lot easier for us to show up to church at 11, 12 o'clock, me play my acoustic, or you play your acoustic, us sing a song or two, me get up there and teach. There's nothing wrong with doing this, by the way. I'm just sort of talking about the attitude behind it of, well, but what we want to do is take that room and make it the best that we can make it, even though it's not the best.
Yeah.
So the principle is the floor sweeping job isn't the best job.
Mm-hmm.
But when you give it your best, and when you give it your all, it turns into more. That's the natural principle. But that natural principle is the mirror of that supernatural principle, which comes from God. And that's why I teach it to our team. That's why I try to drive it home, is in our minds, we sort of think, okay, well, how do we get from this room to the next room? Or how do we get from 5 souls in the church, which is what we started with in our plant, to 7 souls? How do we get from 7 to 10? I'll tell you how. This is the answer. How we get from the room in the hotel to the either bigger room or to the next building, it's when we give our all to where we are. And that's why we get there at 9 a.m., that's why we roll in all of the equipment. That's why some of what we do is a bit of overkill, though I don't think it's just too much. Certainly not saying that we can't do any more. But we get the soundboard set up. We get the tracks going. We put in the time. We put in the effort. And because we have the vision of stewardship.
Right.
And I believe that the Lord is going to reward us. He already has. We planted August the 3rd, 2025 with 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
And Brother Gaddy is a church, he's in the Church Planners Hall of Fame. And he told me this sentence one time that isn't, directly, connected to our conversation, but I'm going to use it and bend it to our conversation. He told me, like he's told many who have planted churches, the only time that 8 people in a room that you're preaching to is awkward is whenever you are.
Yeah.
And whenever you make it awkward. And it was Brother Rich Price, who pastors in Beebe, Arkansas. He went to one of Brother Gaddy's services whenever Brother Gaddy was planning that church. Brother Price said that there was 8 people there. And Brother Gaddy, you would have never known. He did his thing. And look at where they are today. I would say, number one, it's obviously because the Gaddys are precious people, and the favor of the Lord is on them, and they're great. But I would say that if you asked him, he could definitely look back over that and say, well, it had to do with stewardship. They gave it their all, and the Lord multiplied it. And in the same way, I believe that's what he's going to do for Covenant. That's what he's going to do with our music ministry. That's what he's going to do with our kids ministry. Mm-hmm. And what I am so thankful for in our team is, and in our leadership, is the buy-in that we have to our ministries and to stewarding them. And I believe that we're going to look back in a year's time, and if we have 10 kids in Covenant Kids, if we have 20, if we have 5, I'll tell you what I believe. We're going to look back, and we're going to remember the Sundays where it was just my 1-year-old, my 2-year-old, my one child, is what I was trying to say, my 2-year-old, in Covenant Kids, the only one there.
Yeah.
And we sing the songs. Sister Joanna teaches the lesson, and we have given it our all, even though you have seen it with your own eyes. I've seen it with mine. 1 kid in Covenant Kids. We've both been in services in our church where there's been 7. And we give it our all.
Yeah.
Sunday, we are coming off of a weekend revival. I'm so thankful. We had, I think it was 18 Sunday morning. We baptized one in the precious name of Jesus Christ for the remission of their sins. All we can do is take the talents that God has given us, and we can invest with it and in it, buy in with it, and then he will give the multiplication, and he will give the increase. and that's out of our stewardship.
Yes, sir. And I was reading a book recently, and it has the line of, you do not receive a great attitude and consistency from promotion. You receive promotion from your great attitude and consistency.
That's a good line.
And I want to hit on that point of consistency, because if you look on 1 Corinthians 4:2, moreover, it is required in stewards that one be found faithful. So we are having the great attitude. We are stewarding all we have. But if we only do that the one time, just the 2 times, what the church is going on 6, almost 7 months now, and if we just continue to be consistent and to be faithful to stewardship, that's even further when the multiplication will come. And because if you are only going to be a steward of the one thing just one time, or if you just maybe only act or try your best or only try to steward the one thing, like I said, just the one time, and you're not faithful to it, it might would fail. You might not would see what all God has planned in that area of your life or in your ministry. But it's when it's required in stewards that you be faithful. So it's when you take your stewardship and you don't just make it a one time, I'll give it my all one time and see maybe if after this first week of me trying, then it should all happen. But if you just take it, and regardless of what results you see in your own eye after the first or second time of trying, if you just continue to be faithful, if you just continue for the 6 months, the 7 months, the 1 year, the 2 years, the 10 years, however long it might be, it's just be faithful. Because as I just said, it is required that stewards be found faithful. So don't just give it the one-time act. Be faithful.
Right. Yeah. Stewardship cannot be a phase in life.
That's good.
It's got to turn into a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And we also have to realize that if we are given 2 talents, I'm not trying to compare it with the 5 that the other received, because their percentages were the same. So that's the principle there. One was given 5, and he doubled it.
Yeah.
One was given 2, and he doubled it. So what we get into sometimes is we take our season, we take what God has given us, and we try to make it yield what the person who started with 5 got at. But my mind is on that percentage number. My mind is on, if doubling looks like 10 for him, but it looks like 4 for me, I still want that stewardship.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get at is it's the same. And that's the beauty of it.
Right.
Is that the Lord isn't requiring you to make 2 10. The master is just wanting to see what you can do with the 2.
Right.
And the multiplication was the same.
Yeah.
And so that's the beauty of where we're at. Number 1, the Lord's not asking us to do an impossible thing. The Lord is asking us to take what we are capable of doing with what He's given us and steward it well. And when we do that, we'll see a multiplication. I just believe that,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
and I would encourage anyone that's listening to run with it, no matter what season you're at in life. Stewardship is really the answer. If you're trying to figure out how you're going to grow in your career, steward where you're at well. Don't complain about it. And now I understand there are difficult situations in a secular setting, and I'm certainly not acting like those seasons don't exist. There are real difficulties. But if you find yourself constantly from one place to the next not doing well, I would tell you where we grow is where we steward. And if that's in your career, man, steward where you're at. Sweep those floors with all your might. The Bible says that whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might.
Yeah.
And you'll see multiplication there in your family. If you're in a season where it doesn't feel like it's everything you want it to be, you have aspirations of it growing, you have aspirations of seeing progress, and man, you just take what you have right now and you steward it well. If it's in your ministry, you may not be where you think you're going to wind up, and you may not be where you think you're going. You may not even feel like you're where you deserve to be. Be careful with that third one. But if you will steward where you're at well, you're well on your way.
Yeah.
And that's the principle that we've got to hide in our hearts. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I want to get to heaven and hear him say, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant."
Yes, sir.
That's what this is alluding to in the passage of Scripture that we read in the parable. There's going to be a day where we give an account for what we've done.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to tell the Lord, if he came back right now, I want to say, "Lord, look at what we did with covenant." I want to say, "Lord, it's not 10, it's not 50, but look at what we did with what you've given us." The Bible also says that he won't put more on you than you can bear. And I know that is talking about perhaps hardship in life.
Yeah.
But I can't help but wonder, maybe this is a bit topical. I'm certainly not trying to build a doctrine on it. But I can't help but wonder that if it's true for hardship in life, if it's not also true for ministry and calling.
Yeah.
Will he put more on you than you can bear? Will he allow you to go to that next step if you can't even bear where you are now? Will he really open up the next door if you can't handle the one that you're standing in now?
It's good.
To that I say, steward it with all your might.
Yeah.
Give it your all. Don't take the talent and bury it away. Take it, run with it, invest into it and with it, buy into it. And as you are able to bear more, the Lord will give more. And that's where multiplication comes from.
Yes, sir. That's so good. And I just one final point is I don't believe that the Lord will give you all those things so you can look at it and see what you yourself are going to be able to achieve for personal gain or for your personal success, or to see how good you can get at your instrument, how high you can get promoted in your job. It's not for your personal worldly success. God's not looking at your walk with him for what all you can get out of it as personal success. He just wants to see your stewardship. And do you have anything you want to go on for, Pastor?
Well, that's beautifully put. And ultimately, I want everything I do to be for his glory and for his honor.
That's good.
And I think that would be a perfect place to draw my final point, and that is that as we approach anything in life, let it be for him.
Yeah.
And let us not steward because of the multiplication. Let us steward because we love the Master.
Right.
Certainly there's nothing wrong with trying to pursue that multiplication.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with trying to pursue hearing well done. But let us be careful that we not make multiplication our God.
Yeah.
Instead of the Master.
It's good.
I want to take what he's given me and multiply it because it's pleasing in his sight,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I just want to hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant, enter thou into the joy of the Lord.
Right.
And that's how we're going to get there, you know. And I just want to rabbit trail off to a million things right now. And I know that we're ending this podcast. But I would end with that and say, because he has been so good to us, it drives me to want to steward the things that he has given me well, and to turn around and say, Lord, if you've given me 2, look at what I've done with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the goal in life. And so whatever the Lord has given you today, steward it well and bring it back to him and say, look what I've done with it, Lord. And when you do that, promotion, multiplication will come, and ultimately a closer relationship with the Master will come.
That's good. That's wonderfully put. And I hope that if you're listening to this, you have gained some knowledge, you've been enriched from it, you feel blessed, or maybe the Lord spoke something to your heart today. And I hope that your coffee might be gone. Your Snickers bar is definitely gone. Whatever you're eating, maybe it's even a bagel. I mean, there's no telling what it could be. And maybe, you're going to tune into the next one. We sure hope you do, but we appreciate you for just tuning into this one. And that is the First Covenant Podcast. We appreciate you for listening. A little hand clap here. Thank you.